welcome to Spurs Vision TV. Oh, there's an echo?
I can't hear an echo.
Okay, I can hear one, but never mind. It's okay if you can't hear it. All right. Welcome all guys. Good morning, all you guys in Asia, right? And of course, good afternoon, good evening to all you guys in Europe, and of course, good morning again to all you guys in America. Okay.
It's good morning here as well. 12:01.
12:01, right? And of course, 29th day. Oh, for us, 30th day.
No, for us, the 31st day, last day of the transfer window. We've supposedly got two Juventus players, Bentancur and Dejan, unpronounceable. But again, it's a token that might work out with Dejan. Bentancur seems like he's a hard worker, but it's not enough. It's if it's the start of something good, it's only the first course, and the problem still lies that Levy and Enoch are still going to be the handbrake on progress or the poison to healthy growth of the club.
Okay. But like what Bob Spur says, big up to Bob Spur. He's recovering, right? Big up to him. Till they're holding the shirt, we'll see, right? But at the moment, let me bring some guests. Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Privet, what have you done to your hair, or is that a filter?
Oh yeah.
You look like you put a lot of product on there.
No, I just
got a job
I just got out of the bath. Yeah.
Just got all right. Luckily, just showing us the top part, right? That's good.
Yeah. No, I'm very close.
No, don't show us. Don't show us. We don't want to know.
Is that cooking?
All right, okay. But guys, welcome, right? Just before I forget, right? We're heading into the Lunar New Year, right? For us Chinese, it's called the Chinese New Year, right? There are a lot of people traveling around all over the world, and a lot of people around the world who are from Chinese descent are celebrating New Year, right? First of all,
Happy Chinese New Year, buddy.
It's the year of the tiger.
Hold on, I got one more special guest to bring on.
Oh.
Hey.
Happy New Year.
We've got the year of the tiger, and there's the Korean lion.
Yes, tiger year.
Yeah, Xin Kuai Lo. Hey.
Okay. Yeah. How are you doing, Guguma? How's preparations for New Year?
Oh, it's really busy and good. Thank you. How about you?
Finished cleaning the house, part of the house today, right? Our tradition is the house cleaning, spring cleaning. Right. So we have to clean the house and all that. I'm sure you follow that same too, right? And of course, for us in Asia, today is the last day of the lunar calendar. Tomorrow will be the New Year, so tomorrow will be more busy, right? But of course, have you heard the news? We've signed 2 players, Guguma. Are you happy?
Although they're not wearing shirts yet, just like Privet.
Not holding a shirt yet. Not holding a shirt yet.
Right?
Yeah, Guguma. And they're both from Juventus. That's why I heard. So Juventus, Paratici is from Juventus too, right? So I guess that's the only place you can go to get players. Oh dear.
It really does smack of Paratici going on and saying, please, I need someone.
It's not a good look, is it? 30 days into the transfer window, and we go back to the director of football's former club because we haven't seem to have got any players over the line. But looking at Twitter today, the people that watch Serie A, which I don't, seem to rate these two, particularly the Swedish. I think he's half Serbian and half Swedish. Kulusevski is a good player. He works, can play anywhere across the front line and a number 10. So is he a good signing? I don't know anything about him.
Well, do we know as much about him at the moment as we actually knew about Christian Eriksen when we signed Christian Eriksen?
Tell me about it. That's a good point, Brad.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to be like Christian Eriksen, but we didn't know who he was really when we signed him. So hopefully, the only problem is, actually, Kulusevski has been on Paratici not Paratici. Conte apparently wanted to sign him at Inter, so that's a good,
I heard that.
Good sign. The fact that he plays all across the midfield, that's a good sign. He's quick or whatever and got a lot of stamina, that's a good sign. So I guess we have to wait and see. The one thing I will say about this other guy who I've never heard of, my friend, I'll give a shout out to her, Penny Bowyer, known her for years, great Tottenham fan. She said she gave me a WhatsApp message, and it was from YouTube, a 1.5 minute, and it was, we have to sell whatever his name is. We have to sell him, and it's all of his a minute and a half of all of his errors, where he's giving the ball away, miscontrolling, all this sort of stuff. Admittedly, you could do the same thing to make him look like the best player in the world. So I won't sort of take too much notice of that. But we'll just have to.
Weren't Villa after him though, Brad, as well? Apparently.
So, yeah.
That's another one. Louis from Villa would be a nice 11th hour, 59th minute trade.
I guess you could sort of, if you had like a scale, if you're competing with Man United and with Liverpool and Man City for a player, then you know that player's pretty good. If you're competing with, say, Norwich for a player, then you know that player's probably not so good. I guess Villa is somewhere in the middle there. So so that's a good sign, and we'll just have to see what happens.
I'm sure other people want to come in, but all I'll say is Stevie Gerrard knows a little bit about midfield players. So if he's interested in him, that's a good sign.
So Alan and Ian, they're two very good points, yeah.
If it wasn't also accidental.
Oh, come on, Rez, it's a bit unfair. It must be at least our 6th or 7th choice. Come on,
Yeah.
and you saw how well that worked with our choice of manager at the start of the season.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it's the theme. Maybe it's basically we have a list and then we've got 1 to say 8. And we sort of go through it and go for 6 and 7. What I think is needed at Spurs more than anything else is just reorder the list. Put the one that you would put at number 1 at number 6, and put the one that you put at number 6 at number 1, and then we get our first choice targets every time.
Come on. We know how it works. We've got 20. We've actually got 20, and we just got a dartboard and just throw a dart. And we're knackered. We're knackered if it comes to a treble.
Right, but guys, just hold on for a while. Hold on, guys. Wayne Bonner, big up. I've seen you some time. Big up, Wayne.
Hi,
Wayne, please read your my DM to you on WhatsApp, Wayne. If you're still listening, right? Send your private message. Please have a read of that so I can get back in touch with you. And we have Rajiv, right? Rajiv, what? How do you pronounce that?
He can't tell you he's not on the stream.
Don't read like that. Right, big up, Rajiv. First time seeing you in the show. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your support. Right, and coming back to the players that we've signed, there is potential there, but of course, I hope the talent does come true, right, for Spurs and give us a good push to the top 4. Right, that's for the future. Right, that's for next year. That at least Conte will be happy and he still be around. Right, because I've been saying if you don't sign anyone, right, Conte will leave in February. So I guess at the moment, we will get 1 or 2 players, and with Conte being interested in them, that is another positive sign. At least we're getting a player that Conte wants, right? Not what the club wants, all right? But let's see. Go ahead.
We're getting a player that Conte would be satisfied to have, potentially. Not necessarily one that he wants.
Yeah, precisely.
And also, he might have been interested in him in Inter, but it might have been
What about
because
now?
the players he had at Inter complement this player. We don't necessarily know that Conte is skipping down the halls of Hotspur Way celebrating our new acquisition.
Yeah,
But come on, Rez. Let's try and be positive here. We're shipping out Ndombele that we know he doesn't want. We're shipping out Lo Celso we know he doesn't want, and we're possibly shifting out Dele Alli as well that we know he doesn't want. So let's try and be positive about this.
I don't think there's anything to be overly positive about.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, listen, I'll say this. We only heard about the links to Kulusevski about, what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
And we've managed to get the transfer done in 3 days. So why didn't we have it done by the 4th of January?
That's true.
There were rumors at the start of the month about Kulusevski.
There were actually, yeah.
Right. So why didn't we get it done by the 4th of January?
Yeah.
Well, this
Is
is
he panicking about the protest? Is that what he's panicking about? And he thought, if I get a couple of signings
The
in,
protest definitely sparked some movement from the club, at least. I mean, that's what I think. And if you go to see the actual, the backline picture, I think Juventus also wanted to offload those two. Because I don't know whether these are legit reports, but I've read a couple of articles where Juventus, the club newspaper, actually mentioned that they were planning on offloading those two, and this could be like this is like a how do you say? It could be positive, it could be negative. We never know. Like it all goes back to the bail money transfers as well. Like we didn't know all those players as such, but Ericsson turned out great, Lamela maybe, but the rest of them turned out really bad. So you never know unless until we actually do, wait and see, watch how they play, how they actually, work out at the club. It's not a win-win, but yeah, you can wait for it.
Is anyone really, really upset and sad that we missed out on Adama Traore?
Not really.
We were all set our hearts on when we knew we were going to sign him, and then it's like, well, actually, when you in hindsight, you think, well,
Guys, but haven't you noticed? No, we've been linked to Adama for like since summer, right? Big up Derek Hutchinson. Thanks for support. Thanks for watching. Right, we've been linked to Adama since last transfer window until now, right? And all of a sudden, have you noticed we've been linked to Diaz, and then Diaz goes to Liverpool. We're linked to Adama. Adama goes to Barcelona. Well, yes, Rez, go ahead. What you want to say?
I just want to posit a question, right? If Kulusevski and Bentancur turn out to be the best thing since sliced bread, does that make this a good transfer window? And the parallel question, if it turns out that they're awful, does this make this a bad transfer window?
I think it makes it an average transfer window because it leaves because we often enter the season after the transfer window no more confident in our team.
The thing is that it actually doesn't answer the question though, because what we're doing is succumbing to outcome bias, right? We think that the outcome determines the quality of the decision. And that isn't the case, right? The decision making is still as poor as it was at the beginning of the month and has been under Daniel Levy. It's not a question of which signings we've got. It's not a question of whether or not we've got signings. It's a question of the decision making at the club. And the decision making has been scattergun, panicked, and loose. And that hasn't changed whether or not Kulusevski turns out to be an amazing signing or Bentancur turns out to be an awful signing.
I would personally say if I wouldn't call it a good transfer window if these two players turn out to be really good, I'd probably call it a lucky transfer window.
But we can't always rely on luck, right? That's the thing. That's what Rez is trying to say. We should have what called a system that works. Nick, what? Sorry, insert name here. Is it? Insert name here.
You can.
What do you want?
If you want to call me Nick, that's fine. Everyone else can call me whatever they want. No, I just on the back of what Rez was saying. We still don't have a right wing back. We still don't have a striker. I think if we were going to Juventus and everything else, I know there's probably a link from before, but Morata, why didn't we try and ask the question about him? But also, the most important thing with Kulusevski is if we don't qualify for the Champions League, he's going back, right?
Yeah.
You mean there's a clause there?
That's what we're trying for.
Hey, no. It doesn't work that way. So the clause basically says that if we do qualify for Champions League, we have to purchase him.
Yeah, you're right.
We have to.
Yeah.
Okay,
But we can.
If it's the other way around, we don't really need to. If we can go back.
But we can choose. That means if we don't qualify, that means if we don't qualify for Champions League, we don't have to purchase him.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to buy. There's no obligation to buy that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. That the price is predetermined as long as we meet the conditions, as in we finish fourth or above.
No, this is a weird kind of a deal. Levy is doing. Well, but before that, big up to Ryan McFarlane. Right, it's Ryan? Not a great window. Yeah, Ryan. I big up Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Right, usually it's an obligation to buy, but this time the condition is saying that if we don't get Champions League, if we do get Champions League, we buy him. For how much?
40
million.
40, I think.
Was it 25 million euros?
No, it's 5 million up front, isn't it? I think for the loan.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's what I mean. We've thrown 5 million. We've thrown 5 million at someone that's going to play 4 months, maybe. Why I'd much rather try to do a deal with Lingard.
They mentioned 18-month loan.
Yeah, Man United ain't going to strengthen us though, Barry.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We're getting a £3 million insert name here, or Nick, however you want to be called. We're getting 3 million apparently from Leon for Ndombele, so that's going to cancel itself out. But I know Reza's gone, but can I pick up on something? I mean, we don't know how good this window is, but for me, the key is that, and hopefully there'll be 1 or 2 more tomorrow. We don't know, but the head coach Conte is getting in players that he wants and is moving players out of the club that he doesn't want. Now, on that basis, it's a half decent window. It's a better window retrospectively if the players turn out to be good and really hit the game running. Someone mentioned the name Lingard. There's not a cat and hell's chance that United will give us Lingard. They will not. United were not going to strengthen us, Arsenal or West Ham, who are rivals for that 4th place. So much as I'd love to have seen Lingard at Tottenham, I thought we should have gone for him last winter and in the summer. We haven't, and there's no way in the world he's coming to us. Maybe in the summer on a free, but no way is he coming tomorrow.
I think the annoying thing about this window and how Spurs operate, and they said this, I think it's on Sky Sport News. Apparently, Liverpool were interested in Diaz at the start of the season, and decided that they were going to wait until the summer to actually go and buy him. And it was only Spurs' interest that they suddenly thought, we better get him now. This is what happened with Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
and what annoys me is that the reason we didn't. Okay, he said he wanted to go to Liverpool. They're in the Champions League, and quite honestly, I don't blame him. I accept that a player will want to go to another club because they prefer that club to us. I totally accept that. The thing is, though, if we'd have got our act together and paid the money that they wanted, we'd have got him before he even knew that Liverpool were interested. That's how I look at it. That's how I see it now.
But on the contrary, isn't it the agent gets word Spurs want to buy you now. The agent phones up Liverpool and says, Porto have got an offer from Tottenham. They're negotiating. Are you need to put up now or shut up?
Quite possibly, but I still think the fact that we dilly dally about these transfers because we want to get that little extra bit out. And the guy, I think it might be Michael Bridges, who I think might be a Spurs fan. He was saying that. Why you pay the extra money? You're going to get it back if you make the Champions League.
Sure.
Why are you feeling about it? Because you just make the group stage of Champions League, you get the money back.
Sorry, big up. Brian Daggle's just come on into the chat.
Let me just say hi to Vibav. Big up Vibav. Thanks for the support. I think you have the link, right, Vibav? You want
can I raise a very quick point before anything?
Hold on.
There's something
hi,
people have to
Alexander Hilton.
understand first. Something people have to understand when it comes to transfers. The transfer window is the time in which clubs can register new players. It is not the time that they can approach a club to procure the services of those players. They can do that anytime they like. So we could have been going after Diaz, or the ability for us to go and secure his services could have been done in any time up to the transfer window. That's another failing. Right?
Are you sure that, Rez?
Yes.
Don't count as tapping though, Rez.
You can't. No, tapping up is when you approach a player directly without going via his club. You can approach a club and say, in the same way that Virgil van Dijk from Southampton to Liverpool had been agreed before the window opened. And was ready to go. You can't complete the process outside of the transfer window, but you're all ready and to go. So we could have negotiated for Diaz months ago if we really wanted him. Gone to Porto, said, look, this is the deal that we'll propose. Are you happy with it? Agree the deal, ready to sign 1st of January, done. But we didn't, and we don't.
But Rez, 90% of the business. Sorry, Eugene. 90% of transfer business is done like today and tomorrow. It's like it's not just Tottenham. Every club. I don't understand it either.
Villa have got 5 signings and they started early.
Well, Villa and Newcastle slightly different.
No,
but the vast majority.
Why should it be different? Why should it be different? Why should it be different? Right. The only difference is that our recruitment team, our scouting team, most probably the whole management level team, right? Apart from the football side, right? I mean, who are looking for players, right? They all are not doing their job. Simple as that. So why aren't they doing their job? That's my question. But never mind, guys. To tell the truth, I like to ask Guguma a question. Guguma, are you there, Guguma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last January, right? I don't think we signed anybody. Did we sign anybody last January?
No.
I don't know.
So that means this January, right? We've signed players. So I guess this January is a much better transfer window than last January, right? So to some of the fan base, they'll be feeling much happier about that, right? But Guguma, this transfer window in January, right? Waiting for we waited for 30 days. Then we get announcement. That's like what the panel's been saying. We could have done all this so much earlier. So that shows a very big weakness in our recruitment system, right? How do you think, Guguma, will they improve now under Conte? Maybe Conte is really pushing them hard.
Yes, I think they will, because even though, these signings are very last minute, I feel like because Conte is in there and also from the fans, there is more pressure now for the management to change things and do better. So I think
you better. That's a good one.
Even though we don't know what's going on inside, I just feel like, especially with Paratici in now, and even though these are last minute signings and they're all linked to Juventus where he used to work, I think that there will be changes.
There will be changes. So that's what we're all hoping for, right? And guys, I understand, right? But like I've been saying, right? Last January, we didn't sign anyone. This January, at least we allegedly, right? Hasn't happened yet. Can I use that word? We're supposed to be getting 2 players, right? One, of course, now we're talking about is Dejan, right? We know his qualities and all that. We know he can play across the midfield. And of course, we hope that he can actually become a player that Conte uses well, right? Who is the second one? Bentancur?
Bentancur.
Okay.
Uruguay.
Yeah, Uruguay.
Again, I will say outcome bias. The outcome does not determine the quality of the decision. The decisions, the things that we should be judging this transfer window on are, did we move quickly enough? The answer is no.
No.
Did we get our primary targets? The answer is no.
No.
Yeah. Those are the things that judge a transfer winner. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Yeah. Because the player, when they arrive, might be absolute dog shit or might be absolutely brilliant. That doesn't determine how good your transfer window is. How good your transfer window is whether or not you got the deals done well, and if you've got the ones that you wanted.
Rez, who were our primary targets? Because I don't know.
That's another question. But from what we can gather, the primary targets were Adama because we pursued him for so long.
Right wing back.
And even then, Diaz, I don't think was necessarily a primary.
No, I don't think he was either.
Right wing back, a striker, and a central midfielder. They were the three areas.
Yeah.
Rajiv asking, did we save money? Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Although
that means
on the
could argue we'd lose money.
I'll give them a bit of credit. If we can get rid of Ndombele and Lo Celso and maybe even Dele, I mean, if we can get rid of those, then I'll give them credit for that. But that's not enough. In fact, that is probably bad if we don't get incomings because we've weakened the squad even further for what little that they contribute. But it's still a weakening because those players aren't there. You can't even call on them in an emergency. So if we're bringing in 2 and getting rid of 3, that's still a weakening.
The money that we've saved, we might lose if we don't make Champions League football. I'm sorry to keep banging on about it, but it's a lot of money if you qualify for the group stages, which we will if we finish in the top 4.
I have a question to ask when it comes to offloading players. Now, I think in the Premier League we do have a obligation to keep a particular number of English players, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So wouldn't offloading Ali be a weakness then? Like, we'd require another English player
We
to
don't
be
have
signed.
no.
Yeah, but
you mean the homegrown quota issue?
Yeah, the homegrown quota issue is this. Look, you can. I think it's 17. You have to. You have to have 17. Oh, sorry. You can have a maximum of 25, right? In order to have a maximum size squad of 25, you have to have 17 homegrown players, of which a certain number have to be youth grown, right? If you have fewer than 17, for each player fewer than that 17 that you have, your squad maximum drops by 1. So if you've only got 16 homegrown players and, include in the right balance, you can only have a maximum of 24 in your squad. Right? So getting rid of Dele doesn't necessarily mean that we have to replace him with a homegrown player. It just might have an impact on the overall size of the squad when it comes to registering with the Premier League and UEFA if we were in European competition. Are we in European competition? What happened there? Did we go out of the bottom tier European competition earlier this year? Yes, I think we did.
You dreamt it, Rez. You dreamt it.
Oh, we're still in the Champions League. Sorry, my
yeah, absolute quarterfinals. We got a bye to the quarterfinals.
We got a bye to the finals. Yeah. It's all because of that handball. The referee finally got it right and said, "Oh, because of that, we're just going to put."
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely
It's like the Royal Rumble, isn't it? They always have a guest person. Like, oh my god! Look at this! Make some comeback today.
It's sort of. It almost requires one of these. Sorry.
Yeah, shut up, Rez.
This is what happens when you give Rez the key. But guys, look at that. Chris Akama says, at the end of the day, we missed the identified targets. Paratici had to save face by raiding his old club, his old side, right? With players he knows well. Right?
It'd be interesting to know what the dynamic is between Paratici and Levy. I'm going back to the interview with Paratici where he said that if you have to pay the extra for a player you want, then you pay that money, which we obviously haven't done. So I'd just be interested to see what the dynamic is between those two.
Rajiv is either a genius comic or a hopeless optimist.
I know.
I know a lot of other people who are like him. So yeah.
Rez, I don't want to pick you up, but I think you might have got the quotes around the wrong way. I think we have to have so many English. The homegrown is about 8 or 9,
I think you're right. Yeah. The other
That's right. I did wonder about those.
Because otherwise, we were
right.
in trouble. Because I've just looked at the squad and we've got about 16 foreigners, and I'm thinking, we're in trouble.
You're right.
Okay, let's see what Regis wants from us now, right? Can any one of the expert can explain why do we stretch negotiations for so long?
It's one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries.
No, Rajiv, I'll explain it to you. That's DV's SOP.
Yeah,
right? That's DV's SOP, right? Standard operating procedures, right?
Procedures.
Don't get players in early so you can screw up the manager.
No, I just think it's a game to Daniel Levy. I just think it's how he operates, and he just won't spend that extra bit of money. He'll always try and Have you seen the YouTube clip of the guy in the delicatessen where he puts the bottle of water? He said, "How much for that?" And the guy goes, "Oh, that's £1.50." He goes, "50p," and he swears and walks out with it. Sort of thing. Daniel Levy,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can do that with a bottle of water, but not with players.
Eugene, can I play my devil's advocate role again? And that's
go ahead.
I know that the criticism of our transfer business, and I must say I was incredibly disappointed that it seems to be same old, same old. I rather thought, I watched Celtic in Scotland, and on 2nd of January, there were 3 Japanese players signed. You may know them in the Far East, I don't know, but they signed 3 Japanese players and was straight into the squad. And you go, why can't Tottenham do their business like that? But I gather this is also Paratici's way of doing business, at this spinning plates, identifying several targets, negotiating on various ones before picking who he wants. I don't know, that's a particularly good sign. And particularly if you're coming from a lower division or whatever, and you're looking for a step up, and you hear, "Oh, Tottenham are interested in me," and then suddenly, well, sorry, Tottenham are going for another target. I don't know. It's a method of operation that
Mr. Tanner from Lewes. He
Sorry?
turned us down.
Yeah.
Mr. Tanner from Lewes
Well,
turned us down.
Yeah, that's why Rajiv is asking,
Ollie
right?
Tanner, yeah.
Louis, they give reasons that players don't want to join Tottenham.
I think I gather the personal terms for what I'm picking up was a bit of a smokescreen, that this guy has some history of some fairly nasty comments across the board, and particularly about Harry Kane. And I think there was a backlash. And I got a funny feeling when the club picked up on this and the fans' reaction, it was, well, let's put up sorry, I'll tell you what, I'm gone a minute. Is that the club found a way of saving face, and Lewes put out a statement last night to say that they couldn't agree personal terms. For the life of me, I'm struggling to believe we can't afford a non-league striker on 8,000, 6,000, 15,000 a week, whatever it would have been.
15,000 a week. Most probably Levy is offering £250 a week.
But what's he was ex-Arsenal youth, wasn't he?
Yeah, the boy's name's Tanner. Now, you may not know Old English slang, but Tanner was a slang expression for an old sixpence when there was 12 pennies to a shilling, and I think it was 20 shillings to a pound. So I'm showing my age.
2.5p. It's about 2.5p, isn't it? A sixpence.
2.5p in modern parlance. Yeah.
It should be Oliver Tupney Bit.
Oliver Tanner.
Yeah.
The thing about Ollie Tanner is this: when he was 16. Because he's an Arsenal fan, he was taking the piss out of Harry Kane on Twitter. And the specific thing that he did was basically spits when he talks. And he did a little screenshot of a scene from SpongeBob SquarePants, in which SpongeBob's got a load of saliva coming out of his mouth. And he put this in this tweet that he did. And he's an Arsenal fan and he hates Tottenham and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so, it would have not looked good if we'd got him, right? Because it would have just caused a lot of banter, even from outside of our own fan base, right? There is no way that we couldn't have signed him. I think we could. Lewis had, and it's Lewis, guys, just to respect the club themselves. It's Lewis, not lose. Basically, Lewis would have had already agreed the personal terms would not have constituted any kind of obstacle.
No.
He's 19 or 20 years old. He's very young. You know,
Yeah.
you give him 20K, he's signing. Right? He's
No,
signing.
but guys, why
so-
would come on? Do you tell me, right, that our club social media department doesn't know about this guy, and we went for a guy like that? Come on,
Absolutely.
what's wrong?
I have a
what's
question
wrong with
there
the
also.
club?
It's like the comment
Yeah.
about the Arsenal didn't know the AFCON was coming up. Oh, shock horror.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
What,
also
Jamie?
similar. If that's the case, how did we end up signing Doherty?
Yeah, but the thing was, is that Doherty had
Brain
not, done,
fart.
had not said anything disparaging. All he'd done is
Okay.
basically say that he supported Arsenal, and then they did really well. I thought that the marketing department did a bang up job with that little thing.
They did
that
actually,
was,
yeah. It
a
was a
little
good job,
video,
yeah.
right? But this one would be a lot harder to spin. What are they going to do? Do the same thing with him, with Ollie Tanner going oops against his phone? Not when he said, not when he said,
Rez,
that,
you
that's when he talks.
you
He
just
had to
smack
delete
on.
all those comments there.
Sorry, Ian. You were saying-
Hi, Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Yeah,
Yep.
This comes down to proper due diligence.
Yeah.
I mean, Emmanuel Petit, there was a quote when we signed Ndombele, and then there was a quote, I'll have to try and find it, from Manny Petit, who said, Dada, sort of strange signing, maybe doesn't work hard enough for the Premier League or something like that. Now, there was alarm bells ringing. We just spent 50, 60 million quid on a player that an ex-Arsenal midfield player goes, you've wasted your fucking money in pardon my language, in code. And it's
late now.
Someone should
That wasn't
know.
code, Ian. You said you swore. You did swear. It wasn't code.
Yeah, Petit was in code, not me. I've called it as I see it. But I mean, another thing today is that I read on Twitter that they're making massive expansion in the scouting department right across Europe. So with a bit of luck, someone there, maybe the director of football as well, has said this whole thing needs to be much, much more professional.
Yeah,
because
long
it is
long overdue.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we'll I'm not gonna harp on it for too long, but the whole protest against Levy thing, it's predicated on a number of different issues. It's not just about transfers. It's purely that the transfers at the moment are the most pressing issue when it comes to the club, because we have, as I've said elsewhere, the best manager we have ever appointed at the time of appointment. Bill Nicholson is the great man for us. We all know our history. We know that Bill Nicholson is the man. But when he first became our manager, he was coming off a playing career. He hadn't achieved anything yet.
He was Ryan Mason.
The same with Keith Birkinshaw. The same with Keith Birkinshaw. He hadn't achieved all that much at the time that we appointed him, and he went on to become our second most successful manager. Pochettino, when we got him from Southampton, was not a big name. He was building a name for himself. He wasn't. Conte is ready-made. He is the ready-made manager. It was the same with Mourinho. Mourinho, I mean, arguably is the most successful manager at the time we appointed him, but Conte is probably a better fit. So he's the best manager we've ever appointed, right? And I forgot where I was going with it. Shit.
Brain fart.
Make stuff up.
You've done a Neil Walker. You've had a Neil Walker.
What was I talking about?
We don't know too.
You're having something that's common to all of us. Yeah, apart from maybe Privet and Gugama. You're having a senior moment. You're having a senior moment. It's like when I walk into the room and I don't know why I've walked into the room.
I'll tell you what, I'll
It's a
just
senior
pause.
moment.
Just pause while I go onto YouTube and just watch back, and they might remind me. No.
Okay, all right. But before I go ahead, right, Rajiv asked a question, right? What about our backup for Lloris, right? Does Golini get the nod?
Well, he has to, doesn't he?
I don't trust him.
We
He
got
just
Brad
stands there.
Austin. We got Brad Austin.
Who's the guy that we sent on loan? The goalkeeper who sent on loan? Was that Austin?
Alfie Whiteman.
I quite liked him in the friendlies, actually. I thought he showed a lot of promise.
Where is Whiteman now?
I think we've recalled him.
No.
No,
His loan period ended because the Swedish season stopped.
Okay. Right. But Tommy says, big up Tommy, thanks for support, right?
That Tom's.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yep. All right. He says that Bentacore and Kulu. Okay. Oh, we call him Dejan here. Quite easier.
Oh, he's already gone. Ben and Kulu.
Yeah, Bentakulu.
Ben and
Right?
Kulu,
Bentakulu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
a
TV
little
show.
bit yeah, he says a little bit underwhelming, right? What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Guguma, do you think? Let me ask Guguma. Guguma, you there, Guguma?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you think the signings are underwhelming?
Compared, I don't know. I don't think so, because, I mean, with Bentancur, from what I've read about him, he's been he's been playing for Juventus pretty often, regularly, hasn't he?
It's just that Allegri didn't play him when he came to manage the team. So it wasn't that Bentancur is a bad player. It's that he doesn't fit Allegri's team setup.
System?
It's unfavored.
And then
So he's a good player.
Right, and then Kulusevski, he's pretty young, isn't he? So
Yeah, 21.
21.
mhm.
But
I
we
don't
shouldn't.
think it's
sorry.
underwhelming. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Guguma. I have this bad habit of butting into people's conversations.
No,
Carry
no,
on.
it's okay.
Carry on.
Yeah, so no, I don't think it's underwhelming. Maybe because it's so last minute, many of us think that, we wanted somebody else was our first top priority, but we're kind of had to go for them. But I think they're good players.
But even in the best will, with the best will in the world, and the most optimistic person in the world, or even in our chat, Mr. Rajiv,
yeah.
how were we ever truly or rationally going to expect that this transfer window was going to be the panacea to all of our problems? No.
No.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
So I would say, like in We Are Tottenham TV. Some guy was bashing Brian for not being in the chat, and he turned up a few seconds later. That hopefully this is just not maybe the best course, but the first course that Paratici is serving us. But unfortunately, we still have to sort out the main problem, which is the chairman and the board, who are basically going to slow everything from moving in either the right speed or a healthy direction.
Although if it is a course that he's serving us, he's sort of like serving us a bit of dessert, a bit of a starter, and half the main course in one go.
Yeah.
So is he trying to entice us into? He's enticing us to have the full meal, but we don't know whether we're going to actually pick his restaurant yet.
Yeah.
Ian, yes, you got some
I
breaking
put my
news?
hand up because I put on the private chat there. Spurs Express just tweeted that Brighton have indicated they are willing to sell Bissouma. The price is £45 million, and
we want
apparently
Lamptey.
Tottenham, Villa, and United are in for him. We know they want. I think they want Rodon, and I suspect that I've read they want Dele as well. That might put us in a really good negotiating position with him. I know he's got some criminal charges facing him.
So we need another one.
Tell me about it. I don't know that they're that serious. I mean, at least I don't think they're going to get him 5 years.
They're not quite Greenwood level.
They're not of Greenwood level, allegedly.
Okay,
No.
allegedly,
Allegedly.
And guys, we are not going that. We're not going that direction.
Another what's it called? Individual who's in their sort of 20s, being paid vast sums of money very, very early in their lives, not learning responsibility. You shock me.
Yeah. But you come back to like what Chris says, right? According to they are not big name players, but they are hardworking, do a job for the team, and can actually last 90 minutes. So, yeah, maybe we do need players like that. Yeah, we do need players like that to do the job, right? And of course, Scott, you have the link. Please hop on and don't throw the chats, right? And Scott says
That's what you're doing. You're just bringing him into the conversation where you can sort of like control his trolling. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, but I love Scott when he trolls.
Does anyone know? Is this Ben? Let's call him Ben. Let's call him Ben. I like that. Ben and Kulu. I like that. Is Ben the alternative to that other guy that we were after? The other midfielder.
The other 12,000 players we were linked to.
Yeah. Well,
you mean
the one that actually was
the Fiorentina bench warmer?
Oh,
yeah.
Amrabat.
Yeah. So is Ben like the alternative to Amrabat? Are we still in for Amrabat?
No, apparently that deal's dead.
All right.
Yeah, that deal's dead. That deal's over. Right, but
why would we need another CDM also? Yeah, that is also another.
Is Bentancur CDM?
Yeah. He was a baller when he first came in, but
actually, I think that probably.
Boy, he played basketball
me as well.
So what's the thing?
Truth says, right?
Because he was pretty good when he first joined.
I know. You know me. I clutch at straws. Any chance for a cheesy joke?
Okay, but of course, like what Truth says, right? He's not true with Bentancur, right? But with Kulu, right? It could be excellent for us that he's good on the ball, and
it might. I mean, let's face it. It might work if you look back to the Ardillies signing all those years ago when we used to sign top players. Yeah. We signed Ardillies, and he wanted Villa to come over with him, and that helped him settle in. And Villa was not at that time wasn't sort of a known player, so maybe it might work in that way. That he might have a Juventus teammate that that help him settle in. So who knows?
Yeah, also, on another note, I could say that Kulusevski could be a good addition because he's like a replacement for Ibrahimovic in Sweden.
He's primed for that position.
Yeah, because they claim this was said by Yori on We Are Tottenham TV. He was saying how Abramovich was the lion, and they're talking about Kulu as the I'm going to say Kulu because it's so much easier than saying his whole name. He's the young lion. He's the one that they think is going to be the protege to
Zlatan.
I am Zlatan.
Let's face it. This is Ben and Kulu's excellent adventure.
That's really stretching it. That's worse than me.
No, Brad, write a song about it. Yeah. We've got Ben and we've got Kulu on.
So if anyone of us starts going off on one, we'll just say Kulu it.
It didn't work, Jamie. It didn't work.
Kulu, man. Kulu.
No, but at least we signed someone in January, right? That comes to my point. When was the last time we signed someone in January?
Lucas Moura
or Bergwijn?
Bergwijn and Fernandes, the other one.
We don't normally
the other Fernandes, the other one.
Yeah, we don't normally sign in January. We normally just gesticulate.
Yeah.
We got. Thank you, Jamie. That's so awful. I'm sorry, mate. I'm just kidding. No, we got rid of
gesticulate, not gesticulate
as well. We got rid of Jetson Fernandes in January as well.
We got rid of him in January. Yeah. But no, coming back, right?
Can you believe? I'm sorry, just about a quick. Can you believe that this time last year Mourinho was still our manager?
It's incredible.
Right,
when we didn't, and
three others.
And when we didn't sign anybody, right? That's when Mourinho gave up.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I guess this is what Levy has to learn, right? If you get top managers in, you don't sign players for them; they give up, right? So, but I think one thing is how you say, our brother Brian has been doing a lot of work out at the training grounds and all that. Maybe there's some buttons are being pressed. So let's see how that goes, right? As you can see what I have behind me, right? Calling all fans, right? If you guys have got this message, if you're not read it, I think somewhere on Twitter, we've retweeted it lots of times.
Yeah, I've retweeted.
Everyone's retweeted it, right? But of course, for us fans who are not in London, we give our support from our heart, right, and our soul, right, that we want the change, right. But at least now we have signed players, and now it's just time to wait and see whether we still get a few more. But of course, we're also excited about getting rid of players, right, with the rumors going around for Tanguy, Delhi, right. Now there's Rodon. Right.
I don't like the sound of the Tanguy deal, where we're supposedly going to be paying most of his wages, and it's only a 6-month loan, and it might just be to push his price up before we can finally get shot of him for good.
That's a good deal. Yeah, that's a good deal.
According to We Are Tottenham TV,
his absence might carry some more intangible benefits. Just he's
intangible.
Intangible, yeah. See, that was good, Jamie. I like that one.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Well, even the sun comes around once. Well, the earth comes around once a year.
No, you're better than that. You're much better.
Pluto.
No, the fact that the players won't see, him training on his own, that the group, the spirit of core might sort of pick up a little bit without him there. So I think there might be an intangible. I don't mind having him away from the club for a while, even if it's costing us his wages, would still, in my view, be a little bit of a tick. I would say a bit of a positive.
You don't need bad eggs in the place, do you?
Yeah.
I think he might have come. I don't know how loud he is. He seemed to, when you see pictures last year, you'd always see him laughing with Aurea and Sissoko.
But even this year, whenever I've seen a training video, he always seems to be having a laugh.
Smiling and laughing.
Yeah, he's laughing because he's getting paid $200,000 a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look at these idiots. I'm running around doing NAFL. I'm getting $200,000 a week.
I don't need the bonus. I don't need Levy's bonuses. I've got enough to buy me Big Macs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've actually got a woolly hat that I occasionally wear when it's really, really cold outside, and I actually call it my Tanguy hat. So, is it cold off the Tanguy hat today? Yeah,
mushroomy type.
No, I have to say that even though that I've got this mirror image on, I'm actually wearing the emblem on the left-hand side because I don't look like a right cock.
Jamie,
okay, do not hit me with a lightning bolt.
But from our point of view, you've actually got it on the right.
Yeah.
All I can say to you is stew and dumplings.
Yeah, I had that earlier. Thank you very much. It was lovely.
See, the guy upstairs knows when I'm being naughty, so he made me walk into. I walked into the brick wall of being a
but how you say, right? Right.
Have we run out of football to talk about already, guys?
Okay. We run out of football to talk about. Let's talk about.
Can I have
I have a very low attention.
Ask Guguma a question. Yeah.
Guguma, is Sonny? Did Sonny come over to South Korea for the internationals? Has he been playing at all or been involved?
Oh yeah.
He wasn't called up to the national team. I know that. I don't know if he actually came back home, but yeah, he didn't star in the games.
Oh, he didn't start games. No, but it's Lunar New Year, right? He might go back to celebrate.
Right. I was thinking maybe to be back with his family.
I have this thing. What about Argentina? They've lost a lot of players, so whoever's getting Lo Celso is definitely at a loss.
They're at a Lo Celso.
Sorry. Okay, right.
That was a Eugene laugh.
Robbie's running now.
No. Hold on, Chris.
No.
This is not a football show. This is the Lunar New Year special.
No, not the Lunar, the Looney. The Looney New Year special.
Yeah, Looney New Year.
More like it.
I got 5 on it. And that's the Loonies New Year special.
Get out.
This is what the transfer window has done. This is what the transfer window has done to everyone, though, isn't it? I mean, I actually stopped looking at Twitter. I thought I just or ignoring every single thing on Twitter, no matter who it's from. I just totally ignored it. I thought, oh, what the hell?
Well, you know, it's going to happen. Eugene's going to start saying ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Well, I haven't said that in a long time, right? So
yeah, but
we don't get no we don't get no ding dong dongs no more. But the good thing is that we are moving forward, right? That's one good thing. That's what
I heard that also Hill might go on loan to Valencia.
Yeah. Just a quick thing. Bruno
Valencia.
Bruno Guimaraes has officially signed for Newcastle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's complete.
What does everyone think about that? That seems really, really strange. Ryan Hill going to Valencia
would have been the perfect signing for us. He was the midfielder, short of Brozovic, that we should have been going for from the beginning of the
and they've got interest in old Dumbelly. So why didn't we try and put him in?
We got Bobby.
Hey,
right.
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Spot on, Bobby. Spot on.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Like Bobby says, like we started the window being linked to Traore, McKennie, Kessie, and Wijnaldum. Dusan. End up celebrating by signing 2 Juve bench warmers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is McKennie and Kessie still a possibility in the summer though?
Kessier,
I don't think they're ever going to go during January.
Kessier says,
Bobby, 4 of those 5 players are still at the clubs. I mean, if they've gone elsewhere, I got a problem. But with the exception of Traore, that we were talking earlier. None of us are particularly bothered that we've not got him. The key is if we can get these players in the summer when the real business starts.
I've heard that.
Vlahovic was the player I would have loved. I remember being on stream with Brian on that, and he was the number 1 player we thought. But reality, he wanted to go to Juve. We were never going to get him. And Arsenal did exactly what we did with Diaz. They bid and bid and bid to a point where Fiorentina says the money's so good we can't turn it down. And Juve, do you want to come in? Juve come in for him, and Arsenal were just purely a stalking horse. So, I get where people are coming from, but the key is if the players that we really want go elsewhere, or do they come to Tottenham? And a lot's going to depend on if we make Champions League. If we make Champions League with Conte, etc., I think we've got a much, much, much better chance of getting the top players that we want to drive on next season.
So, Rajiv, you just had your question answered by Ian.
Yeah, and to tell the truth, we have to spend money to get the players. That's all.
I think that's the wrong outcome to try and have in terms of be dominating in the transfer window.
Yeah, we're never going to dominate
in the transfer window. All we need is a strategy before the window opens, knowing who our targets are and being realistic about whether or not we can get them, and not running after the unobtainable like Vlahovic, like Diaz, right? Knowing that we're never going to get them, so they never appear on our radar. Getting our business done early, not pissing around other chairmen. Stop pissing the rest of the footballing world off, Mr. Levy, and pay them their asking price.
Yeah,
that's true.
No rest. We have to.
They're all used to leaving now. They all know that. Oh well, if you want, someone else to come in and pay the money.
So listen, if I was a football chairman and I had a player that the rest of the footballing world was interested in, and Tottenham, on day 1, come to us and say, by the way, can we? How about we sit down and have a chat about this player that you're happy to sell, right? Is another football chairman going to say, "Oh my God, Tottenham are here. Let's get negotiations going," or this player is in demand. Levy is the one who's come at the moment. Others might come later, and they're easier to deal with. in the same way that we wait until the end of the transfer window to get these targets of opportunity. Why is it really such a stretch to imagine that other football chairmen will possibly delay Levy in the hopes that other clubs will come in and will be easier to deal with?
Hold on, guys. I've got a theory to that. Okay, for the past 21 years, right, Levy has been insulting other clubs because when you put out, if you have what called a release clause, right, let's say of 80 million euros, he will want to half it. So every time he does that, right, he insults the clubs that he's dealing with. Now, after 22 or 21 years, nobody wants to deal with him. Simple as that.
Yep.
So that's why do you think he brought in Paratici? Like what been saying, who said earlier, right? Paratici had to go to Juve to save face that we're not getting players, right?
Chris
And
Agambar
most probably, Chris Agambar said it, right? To get those players from Juventus, right? So, in the end of the day, that's where we are. Simple as that, and that won't change until you know who is gone, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with us.
I mean, Rajiv is saying more
Eugene.
dominant. The thing is, Rajiv, dominant means that you are better than everyone, right? I think what you're asking is more effective in the transfer window, and that's a perfectly valid question. And it is about, as I say, not pissing about, having a strategy, knowing who your targets are, being ready to pay. I mean, look, I'm not saying bend over backwards and let every other football club chairman shaft you with whatever price they want to pay. There is room for negotiation, but not bloody this brinksmanship that every single deal has to. I mean, here's a story for you. I'm sorry to dominate. Here's a story for you, right? The Luka Modric transfer. We've all heard it, right? When Dynamo Zagreb agreed to sell Luka Modric to Tottenham, they made a request of Daniel Levy and said, can we have 6 Luka Modric shirts for us to hang up in our stadium and training ground, because we take pride in the fact that one of our homegrown players has gone to a big Premier League side? And he said, yes, absolutely, I'll send you 6 shirts. And then what he did is that he reduced the transfer fee by the cost of the shirts. Now, if you're a club chairman and another club chairman does that to you,
What?
how much good? That is the fact.
Yeah.
So I think the fee was about 15 million. When they asked for the 6 shirts, he said yes, but then he reduced the transfer fee that he gave them by the cost of those 6 shirts.
Do we know that's true, Rez, or is it urban myth?
It's been confirmed.
Because
it's been confirmed.
So there's so much stuff that people talk about.
Yeah, but
we were after this.
There's another example, Ian. There's another example, and this is a direct quote from the man himself, Brad Friedel, in his final season with Spurs, when he was when he knew that he was retiring, he was giving his shirts away, and the club charged him for the shirts that he was giving away.
Yeah,
if we don't do our players, we're not going to do it to other chairmen. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but sometimes people have such an anti-Levy agenda.
But this has been confirmed as well.
But your general point, Rez, is absolutely spot on, because every chairman that picks up a phone and it's Daniel, I want to buy, must be going, I want anyone other than you, because I know this is going to be a nightmare of a negotiation. And anyone who listens to TalkSport and listens to Simon Jordan, I mean, his classic quote, and I mean, he was bordering on anti-Semitism with it, I thought, but, Daniel wants everything half price with 10% off, I think is the perfect description of him. And, sometimes, particularly now with the stadium and the revenues, you have to think and act like a big club. And we've still got, we're talking, Champions League ambitions and Isthmian League behaviour, and it's not on. That has to change.
Yeah.
Agree.
But the thing is that whether he
100%.
it's either that that has to change, or we have to change him, right? Change or someone else come in to do that, right? And of course, let me do a big shout out to Simon from Premier Hotspur TV. Let me show this.
Sai, good to see you, buddy.
Yep, Sai. Right. Big up, Sai.
He's following you, following you.
Yeah. Evening, guys. Hope you're all well. Yeah,
it's a good thing.
But we'll say until Levy leaves the club, we'll never spend correctly. But my question is, how do we know the new owners will be the answer? Yep. We never know.
Problem. We're not going to know.
We don't, and you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because
yes, it does.
as I've said, no, it doesn't. as I've said before, if you've got a broken appliance, you don't leave it broken because the next one might break too. You fix it, and then if another problem comes along, you deal with it when it happens, right? If my car breaks down, I'm not going to not call the AA because they might fuck it up worse. I need a fix. You know, I need to get to where I want to go.
Rez, just because you have an opinion doesn't make everybody else wrong. Please remember.
I'm applying logic here. Argue the logic. Argue the logic. Argue the logic. If you've got something broken, do you leave it broken or do you fix it?
But the bottom line is, you know, would you take Newcastle's owners now?
I'm not being asked to take Newcastle's owners.
Well, but everyone avoids this question.
I'm being asked, am I satisfied with our chief executive? The answer is no.
No, it's not. You changed the question.
Yes, it is. There is no one else coming in for the club. You can't force a false hypothetical on me.
Don't shout. Your arguments aren't enhanced.
Guys, hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Can anyone just type into the chats? Give it Rajiv Daniel Levy's email.
I mean, you know, I haven't got Daniel. I don't think anyone's got his email. I think. Let me tell you where I think this is. This argument is circular. I mean, I agree with Premier Hotspur there. But last comment there. Sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for, and I totally agree with that.
We're not talking about a change of ownership either.
Well, hang on. Respectfully, you are.
No,
let me explain why. Rez, let me explain why.
Ian, we've had this discussion in a WhatsApp group and you've ignored it every time it comes up. And now you're trying to bring it up, okay, in a public forum. I've said we're not talking about a new ownership. I've said we want a new chief executive, which is a perfectly feasible thing to ask for. It is not out of the realm of the possibility for an executive to leave and someone else to come in. Okay,
if I'm allowed to speak, if I'm allowed to speak,
all right.
You're being
hold on, guys.
What? I'm
all
sorry,
right.
mate.
Okay, guys. Hold on. Jamie Gay says, all right, up all night, got to get some sleep, drop by to say hello, right, regardless, right, the signings, leave you out. Take care, Jamie, right, have a good night's sleep, all right.
Jamie?
What?
Jamie Git.
Oh, you said Jamie. I thought we
I thought you did as well, yeah.
No, I said Jamie Git.
Jamie
Jamie. That's it. That's right. Okay, Scott M says that's such a weak defense of keeping Yep. But guys, okay, I understand both sides of your argument, right? But I understand what Ian is trying to say, and of course I understand what Wes is trying to say, right? But the guys, it's no matter how we argue, right? It still doesn't solve. There is a big problem there. Ian, you do admit that there is a problem.
I know there's a problem. But my view, though, and this is where I take issue with the Levy out is to me is a total misnomer. Levy and his family own, I can't remember the exact percentage. It's something like they have control of 30% of ENIC. So the issue, and also Joe Lewis is the majority shareholder in Lewis. I don't think for a minute that Lewis and Levy aren't playing for exactly the same team here. So the idea that Lewis is telling Levy, go out and spend, go out and do this, get your business done early, pay the market rate.
My wife's filming me over the green screen to show her friend.
I wonder why you were laughing. I think what I was saying was that stupid, Jamie. So the reality is Levy out. Who's going to replace him? Another probably less effective.
All right. Okay. Fine. Let's say, for instance, we're going wrong. What's your solution?
Rest. Hold on. No. Rest. Hold on. No. Rest. Let him.
We don't have solution. What's yours? What's your solution?
Rest. Can I make my point?
I've been trying to hear it for days, Ian. All you've done is criticize me. All you've done is criticize me, criticize Brian, criticize Arthur, all of the people who are doing something about it, right? But you're not presenting any solutions yourself. Where's your solution? Are you just here to stir up, mud? Or are you actually presenting a viable alternative? If you have no viable alternative, why are you criticizing us?
I'm
Answer
not.
the question.
I'm not.
Answer that question.
Can you put Rez on mute so I can actually speak here
I'll do it
without
myself.
being?
I'll do it
I mean,
myself.
your arrogance is breathtaking because you're not the only one with an
Don't
opinion.
make it personal. Don't make it personal. I haven't insulted you. I've insulted your argument.
Brian would be the first one to say. Brian would be the first one to say, because I actually said big up to Brian and go Brian go on Cotton Tantrum TV on Friday, because I think that
hello to him.
Can you shut up and let me speak?
No, when you stop insulting people and when you actually answer the question, I'll let you speak. You haven't doing it. You've been doing it in the WhatsApp groups for weeks now, Ian. Other people here don't know it, but you have been. Okay? You have been. And you left the group and we added you back. Yeah? And you added it back, and I've got your text, and I can read them out if you want. Okay, you're not presenting an argument. You're not. You say you're Levy out, but every time someone says let's do something about it, you put some kind of block in front of it. You're an obstacle. You block them. You're a barrier. What is your solution? Present your solution. Tell us it succinctly, instead of having a go at us that are doing something about it.
Okay. All right, Rez. Let Ian have his say. What's your solution then, Ian?
Right.
That's what Rez wants to know.
Okay. As I say, I do find your arrogance.
Don't talk about me. Talk about Levy.
Yes. Talk about Levy.
I was actually trying, but you keep cutting across me. Getting rid of Levy is not the problem. It is a total distraction. Enoch owns the business. Levy owns around 35%, and his family owns something like 36% of Enoch. Levy, as an individual, is going nowhere. Okay, it's just not happening. It's not how business operates. And even if Levy were to fall under a bus tomorrow, who would come in? Another Lewis appointee who would probably do the job less well under the criteria as Enoch has. So my issue, and I actually think this protest, maybe not specifically tomorrow, but the whole Levy out, Enoch out campaign is getting people absolutely focused on some of the issues. And I'm not one that disguises or pretends everything's wonderful in Levy and Enoch world. There are problems, but there is no alternative solution at this time unless someone is going to come up and spend whatever Enoch want, which is probably around £3 billion for the figures quoted by Matt Law in the summer, which I just suspect came from the club during the summer. Unless someone is coming up with that money, Enoch are not going to leave, and Levy is not going to leave. So the focus has to be on getting the club to do what actually people say needs to be done, which is getting football people making football decisions. And I'm not convinced that's being done. Getting the kind of players in that will take this club to the next level. And that might mean doing, because what I don't see and where I have an issue is positive action, where you say, well, are we going to boycott club shops? Are we going to boycott the bars at the grounds? Are we going to boycott buying replica kits? Because I can bet your bottom dollar, when you look at the protest tomorrow, there might be a few hundred. How many of them will be in their Spurs purchased merchandise? How many people are prepared to give up their season tickets?
Right, you've spoken enough. So because they've happened to have a Spurs shirt, that means that they're not allowed to protest. They made the mistake of buying it. That means that invalidates it.
We didn't say that.
You haven't presented a solution. You haven't presented a solution. All you do
I have presented a solution. I've told you your only solution is to find another owner.
If that's not a solution that we can bring about. We can only protest against what we see as the problem. And
to achieve what?
Present an obstacle. Okay? You turn around, you keep focusing on this idea that because they're the owners, they have to be in charge. No,
I didn't say that.
Toshiba recently lost their chief executive. Okay, they're owned by a Japanese family who haven't been on the management of that company for decades, right? The chief executive of a company does not have to be the owner, doesn't even have to be related to the owner. Okay, we are saying to Mr. Levy, you are not fit for purpose. That doesn't mean we're going to succeed, but at least we're doing something instead of sniping from the sidelines, which is all you're doing.
I'm saying to you, I don't believe Levy out is the solution. ENIC out is the solution.
ENIC out is harder to get than Levy out.
I couldn't agree with you more. But if
Fine,
Levy
fine. Who's
goes,
gonna buy him?
if Levy goes, you get another Lewis Stooge.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. If we can get Levy out, right, that is the first step of getting ENIC out. Don't you see that, Ian?
I see it. I don't think it's realistic.
Then you think that the realistic part of is getting ENIC out first, then you get rid of Levy.
Right. That's more realistic than Levy out.
I don't.
So if both sides, you think that
I understand exactly where you're coming from on this, and maybe what
you're saying is that getting ENIC out first is the solution, but not getting Levy out first. But if you get, but it's not realistic. So no matter how it is, right?
Yeah,
we understand where you're coming from, but the thing is that you should know, most of us in this community that you are sitting in, we are all staunch Levy outers.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is that if every time if you come on and say something like the protest is not valid, or the protest is not working, or the protest doesn't have it's not the solution, right? What is the solution? That's why Rest is asking. But you can't give a solution, but at least we are trying to find a solution.
I understand that. I've never said that the protest. I'm a big fan of Brian's, because I think what the protest does is it massively raises the consciousness. Now, I wasn't at the Manchester United game, wasn't it? Yeah, the Manchester United game when. And I can only talk about what I heard, but the you don't know what you're doing that was going round about Nuno, and then the Levy out shouts, and within that was the Sunday night. In fact, Bob obviously was in good health. I said to Bob, you need to get on a stream here because Nuno's out tonight. And that's what happened. And Levy was panicked into making, the kind of the right decisions. If you're saying to me what I think of the solution,
but the thing is that why does he always have to panic to make the right solutions? That's the question. Remember, I keep telling you. When I keep telling you the scenario, right?
Yeah.
If you are you are a head of a corporation, right?
Yeah.
And there's a big part of that your customer base, right, is not happy with you.
Mm-hmm.
Where should you be?
Out.
Out. Simple as that.
But I once owned. I think that I owned 51% of a company. My ex-wife owned the other 49%. Where was I going? And that's the same problem.
Business. We're talking about a multi-billion pound.
It's the same.
Trade, or no longer public, but a multi-million-pound business. It's not the same.
ENIC owns 80% of the shareholding.
It's not the point. But it is the structure that is working under a board. Levy being ousted is difficult because he stuffed the board with his clones, okay? But the whole point is that the way that a structure of a multi-million pound business works is that in actual fact, the power resides with the board. The board can dismiss him, okay? This is the point. This is one of the things we're talking about. This is one of the things that the protest is about. It's about getting more transparency. It's about the likes of Donna Cullen and Matthew Collicott and Jonathan Turner and Rebecca Capelhorn and that lot not being on our board. So I sat silent while you said nothing.
Why are you shouting? Why are you shouting?
Let Rest talk. Let Rest finish first.
I did stop interrupting you and let you speak. My turn.
My turn. Go ahead, Rest.
You're right. Don't shout.
Go ahead, Rest. Go ahead.
This is the frustrating thing. All right, you lot don't present any solutions. All you do is sit there and say that the Levy out campaign is pointless, in the same way that you said and I directly quote you, are you all meeting in the same phone box when Brian first tweeted? Didn't you? Right. Okay.
Said
Do
that.
you think that that's constructive?
Well, I'm not going to be sitting here and be cross-examined. I did have a piss take on.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Hold on.
That's
Okay,
fine,
and
no
hold on,
problem.
guys.
No problem. Right.
Hold
But
on, guys.
what I was
Let
saying about
Nick.
the boardroom-
Let
what I was
Nick.
saying about
Let
the-
Nick.
all right.
Let Nick have his say.
Yeah,
Rest.
go on.
Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, guys, just Ian, not just listening to both of you, right? And picking up on a couple of your points in terms of people being at the protests in shirts or stuff that had been potentially bought from them. So I have a shirt that's been bought for me because that's what was decided to be bought for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm not going to wear it, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be Levy out, right? And I get what you're saying, but I think that the fact of the matter is that we need to start somewhere to create this for them to understand. Now, look what's happened the last couple of days. There's been stuff in the Daily Mail. There's been stuff in the newspapers about potential protests, and obviously Levy's probably been all over the streams. He's seen what people are saying. He's been all over Twitter. He knows who Brian is, and do you know what I mean? So he knows that this is going on. And I'm not signed some players just to calm it down and think that the protest isn't going to happen. But it's been 21 years of shambles, right? And okay, we've got a great stadium, we've got a great training ground, but we don't need to buy up all the property in Tottenham. Chick King have been pretty much forced into selling to Levy, and they've taken everything down in terms of Spurs. And I think they're going about it in the fact that it's not Tottenham Hotspur anymore, it's Tottenham Entertainment FC.
Yeah.
And that's what Levy wants to do, you know, and that's not the people that were here before us supporting the club, the working class from 1882 onwards. We owe it to them to show that enough is enough. Now, I will still have my season ticket, but I won't buy in the ground. I won't spend in the shop, and I get that people will still go and people will still buy tickets. But we're losing £165,000 a game because people aren't going. So although there's 40,000 or whatever on the season ticket waiting list, and there will always be the corporate people that will come in and almost subdue and feed that. I mean, that's what we saw at Wembley, right? So the moment we went to Wembley, everyone who wanted to go and see Spurs could get a ticket because it was 80,000, not 35,000. And I think we just need to not, I don't mind. Look, I'm not gonna if people back Levy or people don't back Levy, I'm not gonna sit there and say that they're wrong. But their argument needs to have some substance. And I think what Eugene is saying is that the solution is not getting rid of Enoch because, like you said, they own 80% of the club. They're not going to go anywhere. But the start of it, like Eugene was saying, is let's get rid of Levy. Okay, it might be another Lewis puppet, but it also Lewis might go, do you know what? I don't want any of this anymore. And if they see that revenue is going down every game, I don't know. I don't know what this,
at least don't insult those of us who are protesting. Which is hold on,
Rest. Hold on, Rajiv.
That's why I got angry.
Let me talk to Rajiv first. Rajiv, if you want to join us, I'll throw the link into the chats, right? But let's see how many people can join us at one time. People's in the chats, right? And of course, be nice. Right. Be nice. I'm going to throw a link in the chat.
Is it a maximum of 10 people in the room at one time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We got 9. So right.
Okay, Rajiv. Here's the link. Hop on.
I think, there's a quote, a couple up, and I think, I'll pick this up. The Truth 82, 519. I think many Spurs fans believe that if Levy goes, Joe Lewis will sell the club. It goes hand in hand. He won't simply replace Levy with another Enoch employee. Now, if that's the case, I don't have a problem with that. I think one thing I do not want to think anyone thinks of me is that I'm in any way Enoch in or Levy in. I think there's been some horrific mistakes made. I mean, you can go back when you know, I'm watching on the television, and I'm hearing the television commentator telling me that Martin Yole's been sacked at half time. I mean, and you know, I'm an experienced business person. My field of work's employment law. I mean, I have never ever in my life seen anything as humiliating or, you know, as a disgusting a way to treat an employee as Martin Yole was treated, who in broad terms did a pretty good job for Tottenham. Yeah, okay. There's sometimes I've made a couple of piss taking comments, but there is no doubt that the Levy out campaign has had an impact. But realistically, I think its best effect will be that Levy does understand that there is widespread discontent with his stewardship of the club. I actually thought he was leaving.
Hold on, Rajiv. Where did Rajiv go?
It looks like he was in a restaurant.
No, it looked like he was in his kitchen. I think maybe he just not got a good connection.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me get Rajiv back on. Just let me get Rajiv back on first before you continue. All right. Hi, Rajiv.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
How is everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, I can
How
hear
are
you.
you? And just let us know where you're from, Rajiv.
I am from Goa, India.
Wow.
Love Goa.
The relaxed part of India.
Yeah.
Dressed for the beach as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So just developing the point I was making, and I think there's two people. I mean, this point you've got up here from Crocodox. Is that how I pronounce that? Whilst the company makes money, the board won't move. That is the reality of a large corporation. It's realistic to apply pressure.
Actually, it isn't.
So it is. It is like, you know, you are running a business. It's not about glory, you know, happiness of the fans. It's nothing. It's good business. At the end of the day, you make good money. That is all that it matters.
Yeah, and
it is not about, you know, fans.
Products are never recalled, and chief executives
we lack ambition.
In disgrace.
We lack ambition,
and things like that don't happen. You know, this idea that because they own a huge amount of it and that they're safe in their position, as if nothing that happens outside will affect them. The very fact that we've been panic buying 2 signings in the last couple of days demonstrates that in actual fact the protests do have an effect. Okay, but you can't have a protest saying we want slight change. We want slight change.
I'm not arguing that.
You have to have an objective. All right.
Yeah.
We are focusing on Daniel Levy because he is the focal point. Okay, I'm not going to say I would prefer not to have to protest at all. Okay, I would prefer it if I could sit comfortably and at the weekend and tomorrow, for instance, when I go out to the actual training ground myself, not have to go out in sub-zero temperatures, in order to make my point. And the point here is this, okay? There are people out there who are devoting their time and their energy and their focus to improving the club. If there are those who disagree, fine, disagree with us and say we don't believe this is the right way, but don't do it in a constant sniping fashion, okay, and constantly trying to undermine what we're doing. If you don't like it, don't get involved.
You know I support the protest, Rez.
Ian, I'm sorry, but your phone box comment puts a lie to that, and that is what has made me furious with you this last month.
Okay, all right. I had a little dig, but if you look at everything else I've said, go through my Twitter. You're on my Twitter. Go through it. It's Ian Shaggy at 1712. You can look at what I've said on Twitter. It's not the end result. It's where the objective lies. I don't think you can get rid of the board. I think what we need to do is to make sure that the board, as someone has said, they're making football decisions, making better decisions for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, not Tottenham Hotspur PLC, not English National Investment Company. And if you look through the annual report, you see there's about 40 or 50 companies, property companies, and what have you. All I'm interested in the football company. And I think realistically, and this is where I do diverge, is because there's some that will never be happy if Levy doesn't leave. My gut is you cannot get hang on, hear me out. You cannot get Levy to leave. And if Levy and Enoch don't leave, then what we need is better football decisions, better footballers on the park, challenging for trophies, and that will make me happy.
And I agree that the possibility of Levy remaining is still high. I don't disagree with you on that, but I don't believe it is set in stone. And I also don't believe that, as I say, that you can protest for slight change.
No, that I agree with.
What you do is you basically make a loud, large argument. And for me, if I'm being honest, yes, I would love to see Levy go. Right? Because I don't think he's fit for purpose. But if he's not going to go, at least you've forced change. Right? I can only apologize for the action of shouting at you, but I'm sorry. I was very angry with you this month, Ian.
But it doesn't enhance your argument.
No, it doesn't. But you know what? It's not about making the argument. It's about what I feel and what I express. What I feel is rage at the club for the way that they're running. And I don't appreciate anyone who wants to block it for whatever reason. Right? They're entitled to their opinion. Of course they are. Okay. I can't control their thinking. But those of us who say we are Levy out, or who disagree with Levy, let's put it this way, who disagree with his running of the club, right now, the worst thing you can do is get in the way. Right? It really is. Let the Levy inners, those that want him to stay, right? Let them make their argument, because that's their argument. But if you want Levy to either go or not be as involved, the worst thing you can do is get in our way, right? And it's very frustrating. It really is. All right. So, Ian, do you know what? I actually really like you. I really do, a lot. Right? I think you're incredibly smart. Right? You make excellent arguments. I don't agree with many of them. Right? Some of them we argue very vociferously, as others are witness. But I like you a hell of a lot. Right?
Love you too, Rez. But I think the whole point of shouting is there'll be a lot of people watching this that are, because it's right at the heart of what's going on in our club at the moment.
That's the thing, isn't it?
24 hours before the transfer window ends.
Hold on, guys. All right. Rajiv is on, right? So let him speak. Okay. Let him speak and let him get his point of view out on all what's been happening.
Okay, okay.
Go ahead, Rajiv.
I remember 2009 season. Okay, I remember this point. Okay, Yunus Kabul crosses, Kraut scores a header, and we enter the Champions League. Okay, that is the best thing to happen to us. We qualify for Champions League. Harry Redknapp has done it. Okay. Then, there is a stage where Liverpool loses a Champions League final. Next season, they win the Champions League. We lose the Champions League final. Where are we?
We drop
out.
Sir,
where are we? Yes, we don't even make it to what is this? Conference League. Huh? We get knocked out from there. So we lack ambition. Something needs to change. It is not, something is not in place.
Absolutely.
We are good, but we are not staying there.
Yeah.
Maybe, I am, because I am afraid what is Man City now could be the next Newcastle. And what happens when Newcastle becomes Man City? We drop one place more down. What do we do then? Arsenal and Tottenham, okay, every time we get the better out of them, okay, Gunners, this, that, okay. What happens when Newcastle comes in that fight? Please, everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And this is the problem. So very quickly on that last comment, who's HG?
Of Cheesery Podcast.
Who is that?
Yeah.
It's on Monday nights, Friday nights. I've been on a few times.
I've not listened to it a huge amount.
I think it's all right. I think it's quite good. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's HG, and the guy who hosts it is the caller Shan. You know Shan?
I know Shan. Shannon.
Shan sort of part of that team.
Ah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
His name is it? No, I thought it was. They just had maybe
HG. Yeah, HG lives in Austria.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, in answer to what Reggie was asked, I mean, this is the thing. This is why it's so tense right now, because it's an opportunity. It's a tiny window, if you'll pardon the pun, a tiny window of opportunity that we have right now to get our status back to where it's supposed to be before Newcastle catch up, because that's another one. There's another one that's basically going to be vying for us, you know. And
it's going to take Newcastle a couple of years to start that. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know,
and Rez, I couldn't agree with you more on this. Just for the record, I could not agree with you more on this.
No, and that's the point. And we've only got a limited amount of time. Yeah. And so this is why our pressure has to be brought to bear right now, and it's got to be, you know, really focused on it.
I will repeat. Yeah. I'll repeat what I've been saying for the last few weeks. Is that if we don't make it with Conte, I won't see a successful Spurs for the rest of my life.
No,
that's true. That's good.
You know? And with no appetite, seemingly, from sort of the powers that be to curb this kind of, you know, bloodthirsty, sports washing, human rights abusing owners from basically taking over our football clubs. And the whole direction of travel is about turning football into an entertainment product and turning it into similar to what is happening with sports in the United States, you know, where the team you support is dependent on your geography, and if you move from one to another, you support your local team, and that's the way it works for them, and that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna think that, but that's not what we want here. We want jeopardy sports where there's a danger of suffering. You know,
but this is where I think, Rez, and I wasn't taking the piss out of anyone that goes in a replica shirt tomorrow, I'm sure. But the whole point is that's where you boycott the shops, you boycott the bars, you boycott the food outlets, and that's where it hurts. That's where it hurts the club, because I don't know what the shops take from the size of the people that have been in the shop when I've been in there. There's hundreds, there maybe even be a couple of thousand footfall that goes through the shop pre and post match. Same with the bars after the game. There's £1 million of revenue at the bar.
I don't know how much does the club get. I mean, obviously that has to go to the catering companies as well. They must take their share. I don't know how much.
And that is actually that's an integral plank of anyone who's leaving out is don't buy in the shop, don't buy in the bars, don't patronize in that sense anything that's connected to the club, because you've got your season ticket, you have to give that, and I would never advocate for anyone to give up their season ticket if they want, you know, change, because that's a voice that you lose. But don't go to the Beavertown, for instance, where the corner pin used to be. That's directly linked to the club. Don't go to any of the burger vans, you know, on the sort of south stand of things, because they're all, you know, with permission of the club. There's one on the corner that isn't, who's not affiliated. That's the one I go to, or I go to Chick King, you know, for as long as we can, you know. But that's the point. You're right. That divestment, for want of a better, that's what it is. That's divestment. Absolutely wrong.
I mean, I must admit, Rez,
part of it, you know.
I must admit, Rez, I'm a little bit limited where I go because of my mobility.
Sure, of course, but that's an individual thing, Alan. You know, you have to, in the same way that you have to have a season ticket if you can get one. You know, you're a Spurs supporter. You've got to be there for the team. But like, one thing that I would suggest is boycott one match. Not every match, boycott one. Don't sell your ticket on the exchange, but don't go either. Right?
Well, they go to the
But the club's got your money, Rez.
No, I know, but no, this is the point. This is the point. If you've got one big group all together boycotting a match together, and you've got empty seats, then
it's a loud voice.
Conversation, and that brings pressure, and that brings the limelight.
True.
What Levy and Lewis don't like is being in the limelight. They hate it. How many interviews has Levy done over the last few years? Very few.
None.
Lewis has done
Very
one
few.
in 25 years. And so
I think tomorrow's going to be really interesting for that. Really interesting.
Yeah,
Don't be excited.
We'll be called empty heart for one day, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't be excited. Don't be excited.
I've got to be honest with you, I'm tempted to come myself tomorrow.
But I mean, these are the things. It's you've got to have a slogan. You've got to have something that you can coalesce around. It's we say Levy out, but really, if say for instance, let's say from now on, hypothetically, I know people are going to laugh now. If say hypothetically from now on, Spurs operate well in the transfer windows every season, right? Every transfer window. What is there to protest about other than sort of high food prices and stuff like that? Obviously, those will still generate competition.
There are some. I mean, Brian would not agree with you. Brian will say, I know he's not here. Brian will say, I want Levy out at all costs.
Yeah, but then
I mean, see, the thing is, even when we all say Levy out, it's I mean, the objective may be that, but you're not gonna obviously achieve it in a short period of time or anything, right? Like take United for instance. They they also had a couple of issues earlier with the whole Glazer. I think they had what do you say, put up protests like to get either Ollie out or get out most of the Glazers itself. But eventually, the very next season, they ended up purchasing all the required people, and after that, the Glazers out thing stopped. So I mean, this is like a process in a way, but you can't expect the exact thing that we are united for is gonna happen in the next few days. It will take a really long time. So yeah, that is one way to go about it. Yeah.
And all change.
Okay, so a long time then. Okay, it's a long-term solution. It's very slow. Then so be it. Not us. Then maybe our children's grandchildren's will benefit from it. That is as far as I can go.
You're very young.
Grandchildren.
Whatever it may be. After all, we are Tottenham Hotspur. I don't expect anything to happen.
Grandchildren.
Have you got grandchildren, Brad?
No.
No.
I might be the only grandpa here then.
Actually, I haven't got any children either, so Solomon.
I wish I had children. But,
yeah.
I haven't got any children, but I do have grandchildren. I went and bought some.
Obviously, you didn't.
So you adopted a grandchild.
That's dangerous, right? Please don't buy them online, right? Please don't buy them online. Right, guys, thanks. Okay, I think we're really reaching nearly the 2-hour mark. Okay, I'll just go around the panel and give you guys one last word to put in before we end the show. It's been a very interesting show today, right? Of course,
this is the only topic. Sir, this is the only topic where we can talk on and on for hours and days. As a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Yes, true.
Yep. Then that's the curse of being a Tottenham fan, right?
Yes,
okay.
True.
Right. Okay. I'll start with Res. Res.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, look. I want to see Spurs be the club, a club that matches its historical status, right? Doesn't mean winning every year. We've never really had that, but being in the conversation always. It used to be like that. It used to be Spurs have a chance of doing it. Spurs have a chance of doing it. Spurs, that's all I'm looking for, right? And I don't believe that Levy is capable of delivering that. Right, certainly not right now. He might change. If he changes and if then my opposition melts away, right? Because he's delivering all I want for my club. If he doesn't, he has to be protested against. His status as our chief executive has to be questioned, as well as the likes of those around him, like Donna Marie Cullen, who hates the fans, absolutely despises us. And I can't remember the specific comment she made, but she did say something after a trust meeting about the fans, and I think it was insects or something like that. And anyway, this is the thing. She shouldn't be there. The likes of Rebecca Kappelhorn, the likes of Matthew Collicott, Jonathan Turner, if they're on the board, there needs to be alongside them someone who has a background in actual football, not they did, an audit of a football club for Deloitte one time, the likes of Overmars at Ajax, Van der Sar at Ajax. They're people who've been in the game, right? So if you want to have business people on the board, fine, but you have sports people alongside them too, and a proper sports setup, a proper scouting network. All of these things can help us grow, and these are the things that Levy has neglected or deliberately undercut, and those are the things that I'm protesting against. So all change is ultimately a compromise. So I will start with my long-term position. That's what I want, the ultimate, but I'm willing to compromise if it means that Spurs at the end of it are the club that we are supposed to be. That's my take on it.
All right. And Alan?
My take on it is as good as what Rez is saying. I mean, I've been a Spurs fan for 50 years, and all I want to see is us challenging, putting on a performance. And I know this sounds really weird. I want to see us showing passion, win, lose or draw.
Yes.
I want to see us on that pitch playing for Tottenham Hotspur, the badge, not the Wonga. Unfortunately, that's the thing that's ruined it for me a lot in the last 20 years, 30 years. And unfortunately, it's becoming more and more and more about money.
Yeah.
And it's ruined the game, but unfortunately, I've been there 50 years. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Well, not as far as I know, God. But you know what I mean. And can I just wait? Can I just do a little bit of a plug for Chelsea Spurs?
Yes,
We've got a very special guest coming this Thursday.
Yes.
We're having the one and only one Mickey Hazard.
One
Mickey Hazard.
Enjoy that.
One Mickey Hazard. He's coming to join us on Shelfside Spurs. So please come and join us and watch.
That's great.
On Shelfside Spurs on Thursday. 7:30, boys. 7:30.
Yep.
7:30 GMT.
Is this 7:30?
3:30 AM.
Yeah, we've got the Tottenham on tour mental health special that night as well.
Alan, isn't it the Thursday after the 7th?
Oh, sorry, the 3rd.
Yes, Thursday the after. It's the Thursday the 3rd. Sorry.
Yeah, Thursday the 3rd. Yeah.
This third? Okay.
This Thursday.
This Thursday, 3rd. All right.
Yeah,
and of course, Prithvi.
All I like to say is overall a very, very underwhelming transfer window. We could do better. A lot of smoke and mirrors just makes it, underwhelming. That's what I feel. Even in the last few windows, whenever we always start up with big names and we end up purchasing names that we wouldn't even know of, we need to Google and find out. It's not that they're bad, but we still need to identify who these new individuals are. Whenever it does end up like that, we end up having either an underwhelming season or a season where we are just above Arsenal, but it's not really a great season overall. So, and like Alan said, most of our players are currently at the moment, they look like they're playing for the money instead of the passion for the club. You can slowly see that the whole entertainment business perspective is coming into picture. So I'm hoping the more players who end up coming in, they end up showing the same amount of passion that all our previous players used to do. I don't want to insult anyone, but I like I sort of felt Lamela was one of those guys who are very passionate about the team,
Yeah.
and I want to see more of those kind of guys.
Lamela cared.
Yeah.
I think
I
one
want
of
to
the
see
problems is that
more
we
of those
can't
kind of
sing.
people in the club soon. Yeah.
We can't sing one Dejan Kulusevski. There's only one Dejan Kulusevski. One Dejan Kulusevski.
Kulu. Say it's easy. Kulu.
Let's Kulu it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Brad.
I want to see our owners and our board just take a chance once in a while, and stop quibbling about money here and there. But I want the board, and I want not all of the players, but some of the players, just to show as much passion as us supporters, and the passion that's been shown on this panel tonight. That's all I want, and I want to be able to wear my Spurs shirt only for the next 4 weeks in work meetings, and be proud that I'm wearing it, and to walk along the street and people, oh, he's lucky, he's a Spurs supporter. Oh, he must be really excited. I mean, my mate who works for me, he's a Liverpool fan. I get sick and tired of Liverpool winning stuff. Feel good for him, but because he's as passionate as we are about his club. But it just gets really annoying, and then they they go and buy the player that we want and all this sort of thing, and they win this, they win that, and the frustrating thing I find is this club has got it there. It's there, ready. We've got the facilities. We've got the training ground. We've got the ground. We've got the support base. We've got the coach. We supposedly got the director of football. It's all there, ready to go. And for some reason, we always seem to screw it up. So all I want is for us just for once to not screw it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Ian.
Oh, where do you start? What a show. I've really enjoyed this. I mean, just going back, it was chatting to Bob Spur TV on Twitter, and he said, you've heard this story before, come on my show. I need someone, who can articulate an alternative view. Sometimes it's a really lonely place. And I mean, look, I think I'm older than everybody on here. I'm 62. I was at Wembley in 1971 when we won the League Cup.
Past Brad.
Yeah. A little bit. I know I think I'm a year or two older than you, and Brad, not much, but a little bit.
I think a year.
Yeah. I was at Wembley in 71 when we won the League Cup. 73. I've seen the glory days. My eyes have seen the glory of the cups at White Hart Lane. They have, and I do want to see those days again. I take a view though. We've been in a lot of cup finals and a lot of cup semi-finals that we have blown. We've not been that far away, but there is clearly an issue. This, as I said about quoting Simon Jordan, I will bid 50% and then ask for 10% off. Is no way to run the club that we've got. We've got a club. All the infrastructure is there. In fact, the business side of Levy and ENIC, other than the football, has been phenomenal. To have turned that dump of area around Tottenham and into what they've got now, and the training ground. If anyone ever went up to the old ground at Cheshunt, and a couple of pitches and some old muggy changing rooms out the park, everything is completely different. But the pressure now is to deliver on the field. It's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It has to be Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Where I take issue is finding an alternative solution is not going to be that easy. And the pressure, in my view, needs to be channeled into making the current regime, because there ain't another player in town, to make the right football decisions timelessly and financially for the benefit of the football club. And that's where the pressure needs to be laid, because in reality, I don't think that Levy out or ENIC out is realistic in the short to medium term.
Okay.
Google is our objective. I mean, I can't speak to everyone, but that is our objective, Ian. It really is. As I say, all change is a compromise. All change is a compromise. You know that.
It's not everyone's, Rez, but I take it. If we get success on the field, this whole thing will dissipate. I get that.
There'll be tiny people who, for whatever reasons, and I'm not going to begrudge them their reasons for wanting Levy out, but a lot of people will, all they want is us to be us, is for us to be us, you know. And if that happens, they'll probably sing Levy's praises to the rafters, you know. I probably won't be there in to that extent, but I won't protest him.
I don't know how many people are watching, Rez, but I do hope they've enjoyed it.
Yes, me too. And big love to Julian.
At the moment, 24. No,
We've
19.
definitely enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Guguma, you've been very quiet for a long time. I think you've been just sitting in the back room and listening.
Poor girl can't get a word in.
She's never seen the broadcast
Feral
room
side.
quite so
exciting.
I think it's simpler than that. I think she's a lady of taste and discretion, and so she doesn't descend into slinging of this nature.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, Guguma. Let Guguma have a last words in. Right? Guguma, go ahead.
Yes, I just think that my hope is that with the ending of this year and the coming Lunar New Year, I just really wish for our club that we let go of any bad negative energy and things that don't serve us anymore, but we're kind of attached to. And that in the year of the tiger, we just have the courage and fortitude to, step into greatness and achieve new things. And so now that's just my hope and wish for us and everybody.
It's a lovely sentiment.
Thank you, Guma. Yes, Ian, I know.
Sorry, this is absolutely not relating to this at all. Just massive football stories breaking. First of all, Christian Eriksen has passed all his medicals with Brentford and he's going to sign a 6-month contract with them. On a personal level, I wish he'd never play football again. On a football level, I hope to God it all works out for him. And he does well with Brentford. Lovely man, lovely player. And Mason Greenwood has been arrested on suspicion of rape and grievous bodily harm. That's two major breaking stories I wanted to bring to everyone's attention.
That one, we won't discuss that. We won't discuss it.
Yeah. No, I would say if the allegations are true, I'm not saying they're false. I'm saying if they're true, because I can't decide. If they're true, that's exactly what he deserves.
Yeah, but we're not going there. All right. And of course, Nick.
I went there.
Just from me, I think a lot of you have covered everything, but at the moment, Enoch know the cost of everything, but the value of nothing, and that's what they need to change, and that's really it. So from me, thank you for having me, and it's been again an interesting show, but a show where I've learned more and more. So thank you for all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for your support, Nick. And don't forget, plug SSS.
Again.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah, do it again.
I didn't. So you can do it twice. I didn't. So do it twice.
Okay, double promotion, double plug. Okay, so you
okay. No, don't. The way he said that just twisted it.
Jamie, get your mind out of the gutter. You've got a cop on your head, mate. Come on. Thursday, 7:30, Shelfside Spurs with the one, the only Mickey Hazard. I got it right that time, Alan. All right, so third time lucky. So hopefully we'll see you all there, and I'll hopefully see some of you on some other streams. And let's just let's just hope we can, like Aguna said, get that passion back and get it on the pitch. And that would, if the players had 20% of the passion that we've all got, then it would make a massive difference.
And how?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Amen. Yep. And Rajiv, any last words from you?
Yes. No, I don't have to say much. But when I started out as a Spurs fan, 2009 season, Liverpool were down. There was Manchester United. There was Chelsea. No, there was Arsenal. And the fourth spot was Man City and Tottenham, which we won. We qualified. Okay. But now it is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea are untouchable. We are against Arsenal, Manchester United, and who West Ham. So have we done enough in the transfer window? I don't know this new whoever they have signed. Let's see if we have done enough. I don't know. Let's hope that whoever the experts are the best in the job. It's their job. I hope they have done it right.
Okay,
I just wish
that's good.
We've
wish
just
to
got
be
to
so.
That's good.
keep
And
moving,
that's the
not,
least we
not
can
standing
expect.
still.
Yeah,
Keep
and
moving. Don't
yeah,
expect.
moving
Just
forward.
keep moving.
Yeah, and thank you, Rajiv, for first time being on Spurs Vision TV. I think this is your debut, right? Hopefully, you join us more again. Maybe
No, no, no,
I'll
no,
go
no, 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 no. This is
No?
my third time. Third.
third time. Okay,
Yes,
all right,
third.
third time. All right, third
Yes.
time.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Maybe in the
Okay.
earlier parts, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, you are. You
It
just said
was
it was
long back.
your debut.
Long back, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
long
long
back,
back.
long. Yep, yep. No, that's why we had to. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys in the back room. Then later we maybe can get your contacts. Then bring you into the group, right? Group chats and all that. Then you can get more involved. Rajiv, get your handphone number and all that, right?
Okay.
Guys,
Yes.
hold on.
Absolutely.
I'll put you in the back room for a while. Let me and Jimmy do the closing, and I'll meet up with you later.
Thank you.
Any last words?
Levy
Come
out.
on, you Spurs.
On
To dare
Thursday,
is to do.
on
Come on, you
Thursday
Spurs.
at 7:30 on
To
Shelfside
dare
Spurs,
is to
we've
do.
got Mickey Hazard coming on. So if you could just tune in and watch, that would be very, very helpful.
Rez out.
You're late to the party. Rez out. Rez out. Rez
All right, guys.
Yeah,
All right,
peace and
guys.
love, man.
All right.
To dare is to do.
Yes, to that is to do. Okay, guys.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna
you
put you in the
Spurs,
back room.
and Levy out.
All right. Let me put them in the back room. Oh,
Got rid of Jamie.
Say nothing.
What to do? If you come in late and
30. Mickey Hazard, Shelf.
oh, I had to do that. If not, he'll go on and on. Right, Jamie, it was a good show. Good show. It turned out to be a bit passionate. Right. First of all, let's say a big shout out to the guys in the chats. There's a Hotspur. Big up, there's a right. Vibuff,
Gugama, The
Guguma,
Truth,
Chris.
82.
Yep.
Chris
Mark
Agambar,
Swift.
Mark Swift.
Mark Swift, our moderator.
Mr. Hutchinson, Mr. Bonner.
Yep. Derek.
I love Ben
Wayne.
Davis. Okay.
Oh, I love Ben Davis. This is the first time I've seen him or her on. I love Ben Davis. That's a good one. Right.
Okay,
Crocodiles. Yeah, big up Crocodiles.
Rajiv, who
Rajiv,
we've seen,
hopped
not
on.
just heard of. Premier
Yeah.
Hotspur, Derek Hutchinson. Oh, I said that
Simon
before.
from Premier Hotspur. Right. Who else do we have? Right. The Truth. Right. Anybody else?
Well, you can say that one.
Who?
The one
Which
above Mark Swift. No, Scott M and
Scott M. Yeah, big up to Scott M too.
below Scott M.
Oh, Jamie Gitt.
Jammy.
Gitt.
Yeah, it's a term of abuse in England. Okay,
Okay.
it means that you got away with something, or you was lucky when you shouldn't have been.
Okay, Vibuff, big up to Vibuff too. Right, lucky you shouldn't have been. Okay, but we were never lucky, right? We were never lucky. And of course, Tommy, big up brother, Tommy too. Right, who else do we have?
Bob Spur.
Of course, we forgot about Bob Spur, and of course Graham. Right, Graham's always there.
Ryan McFarland.
Right, Ryan McFarland. Right, today we have a lot of people.
Alexander
Hilton. Yep, Alexander Hilton too. Big up to you guys. Thanks for the support.
And
right.
You and me.
Yeah, you and I, right? And okay, guys, for what I've got to say, let you go first, Jamie.
Okay, all I can say is I saw both sides of Ian and Ian and Rez's comments, but we need to. However we get our club back, it needs to be gotten back. And yes, people are going to have different ways and means of achieving that. But just like trying to get a better position in the league, to get a better club, we just have to keep working at positive movement forward. and we're not always going to agree, but we have to keep trying.
Correct. And of course, what I got to say, right? We're all fans, right? We love our club. We want the glory days back, right? And of course, there is a big divide now, but let's hope it doesn't get nasty. Okay, there are the Levy outers and there are the Levy inners. It doesn't make much difference that we are both. We both the both side love Spurs. Okay, so let's hope things are done or called amicably, right? The outers have the right to protest, and the inners have their right not to disagree on it, right? But in the end of the day, don't forget this is Spurs Vision TV, right? What do we say, Jamie?
Levy and Enoch, if we can, out.
Levy out. Good night, guys.
Levy out.
Thanks for the support.